Good morning, Richard here and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be talking about how you add a geotag or a GPS location to your photos if your camera can't do it automatically for you. Okay, so let's get on with it. Now, I don't know about you, but when I go on holiday, I like to add the location information or the geotag or the GPS coordinates to my photo so that I know where I took that photo. It's great for things like knowing where you took the photo, if you ever wanted to go back again to check for different lighting or different seasons. Perhaps you wanted to do a photo in the same place different times of the year or something, I don't know. Or perhaps you just want to look back on the photos that you've taken on a trip and reminisce, or just get as much information as you can. I'm a slave to the technology, so I like doing things like that. But not every camera does it automatically. So I'm today going to show you how you can easily add a geotag and the GPS location or the coordinates to your photos using a simple smartphone app. So here we go. So to put it simple, a geotag is the coordinates on the map of the photo and where it was taken. So it embeds that information into the photograph itself. For example, Apple Photos, Lightroom, all the applications that I use can show you where that photo was taken. So you can click on the photo, go into the map module, or the places module I think it's called on Apple, and it brings up a photo of the map and what photos were taken in that location. Now in the past, you can bring up all the pins on a trip, so you can see the route you've taken around the holiday that you've been on, or your walk, or your drive, or wherever it is you've been. And it's just great to look back and you see that route and you remember, and you can dive into it a bit further, see what photos were taken there. Many reasons what you want to use it for, and perhaps you want to do a photo book and you want to map out the locations that you've been to. So whatever your reason, if your camera can't do it, I'm going to show you today how easy it is to do. Now, just have a quick look at this one particular photo. This is a photo of Santa Monica Pier. And I was using it's got geotag location in it, and it was using an iPhone app which was later matched up with the photos by time, and I'll come on to that in a second. But look how accurate it was. You can see there the picture of the Santa Monica sign at the front of the pier there, and you can see on the map it is taken right at the front of the pier. And this was done all automatically. Well, not automatically in camera, because my camera doesn't do that, but using this app and merging them when I returned from the trip, it just populated that field and it applied location data to every single photo that I'd taken. Another thing, like I said, I like it for is look at these photos here. One of USA in 2013, I think, and one of Canada in 2017. They're different applications. One is iPhotos, which obviously doesn't exist anymore. It's now Photos. I think it was called iPhoto. Is it called iPhoto? I'm pretty sure it's called iPhoto. Anyway, and the other one is Lightroom map module, which was a 2017 one. And you can see the route I took and where the pictures were taken, and you can zoom in and click on a link and click on the thing, and it pops up with the photos that you took there. So it's really useful for that as well, if you wanted to just look back and see where you went, really. Now, like I said, I can't do this in camera. So for my 5D Mark III, which is the one that I take on trips, it hasn't got that functionality to add the location data to the picture, so I have to use an app. Now basically, you set something up on your phone, you start a new trip, you record that trip, it monitors your location and where you go, and then you merge that file with your photos. There are a couple of ways of doing that. I'm going to show you the way that would work whether or not you use Lightroom or not, and I'm going to do another video, so be sure to subscribe to the channel to get that, where you can see how you can do it direct in Lightroom. So the app is called GeoTag Photos Pro. It's a simple app. You get it from the App Store or the Google Play Store, whatever it's called. It doesn't need the internet. It just goes on the phone data and the location, so as long as it's got a phone signal, it will pick you up. And it just records you as you're walking around with your phone in your pocket or your bag, and as you're taking pictures. There is one very important thing that you have to do, and that is make sure that the time on your camera matches the time on your phone and in the app, because that is what is used to tag the photos. You take a photo at midday, and the phone at midday will add that location to your picture. If you take a photo at midday and your phone says 11:58, and then you drive down the road a mile and you're a mile away when your phone says midday, that is the data it will add to your phone. So you'll be a mile down the road. It's really crucial that when you take that photo at 12 o'clock, your app says 12 o'clock. We're going to dive into the app in a minute, and all this will make a little bit more sense. So we're going to marry the two up, and you'll see why it's important that the time is exact. So let's have a look at the app now. So we'll jump into the phone now. Okay, so here we are in the phone. The app I use is called GeoTag Photos. There is two of them. The newer one is GeoTag Photos 2. So we're going to open that one now. Okay, so we have this nice little smiley man looking back at us, and you've got various settings along the bottom here that I am going to go through quickly. There is a full pro version, if you like, that you can get, which gives you other options. I don't use that. I'm just using the free version. There is that's that one there, which I'm not gonna purchase. The minimal position change, that I think is when you move positions, that's what it needs to log you again. So I'm going to change that to, let's just go to 10 meters for now. GPS using GPS only, that's fine. All these other options here are whatever you'd prefer, and then there's other bits down the bottom here. So that is the settings. So we are going to go back to record, and we're back to this nice smiley little man. So top right hand corner here you can see the plus sign, so we are going to tap on that. We don't want to unlock the unlimited trips. I think that if you do more than a few trips you have to. So that's worth bearing in mind. This might cost you $7.99. I have the old version which still works, but I don't think you can get that anymore. But even for $7.99 it's still a pretty good bargain if you are going to be wanting to geotag your photos forever, and I'm sure there are other apps that do similar things. So we're going to say thanks but not now. So we are going to call this a local walk because that's what it's going to be, and we're going to hit done. Click on this above the green start button here. You can see where it says login intervals. That is how long it will take a snapshot of your location. I'm going to say continuous because I think I'm going to be doing quite a few pictures quite close together, so I want it to make sure that it notices when I move a little way and I take another photo. So that is fine, and that is all we need to do. Now here you can see in the middle where it says the camera time, and it's reminding you to check that your camera time matches the time on here. Now I've already done that, and my camera does say 15:14 and the same number of seconds, so I'm happy that that matches. So then you are just going to click on start. Now I've turned this off on purpose. If your GPS is disabled for this app, you will have to turn it on because it obviously needs to track your location. That is very simple. You just go into settings and click on location, and you have to say always. If you say while using the app, then there is a chance that if the app isn't actually open, it will not log your location. So if it's in your pocket or your bag or somewhere where you're not actually using the app, it may not pick up your location. So you want to have it on always. It doesn't use a great deal of battery. I've never seen it cause a problem, but it's easy to register where you are, and it will pick up your location really easy. So make sure that's on always, and then we just need to go back to the app, hit start, and that will get our location. Now that can take a few seconds to get your location. I am going to go out for a walk, may not be right now, but it will certainly be coming up in this video, and I will start that again when I am out and about, and you'll see how that logs and tracks my movement and things like that. So let's get out on that walk. Okay, so I've come out to the edge of the New Forest. This is the walk I'm going to do to take a few photos. I've come here for a couple of reasons. One, it's not a million miles away from my house, and secondly, it runs down quite a main road that I'm going to take some pictures down, and it should be quite easy to plot them on a map, and you'll see exactly exactly where I am, and we'll see how accurate it is. Now, I haven't I'm just taking snapshots today, so there's going to be no fancy pictures, so if you're tuned in to see some stunning landscapes, go somewhere else. It is also 0 degrees. There's the remnants of a tiny bit of snow left. We don't get a lot of snow down here. It's 0 degrees. There's a bit of a biting wind, coupled with the fact that I am a big girl's blouse, means that I won't be out here for too long. But that's all. Let's take some photos and see if we can get these photos geotagged. Okay, so you can see here though, just to quickly jump in, before I left home I made sure that my camera and the app were in exact sync to the second, which was important, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Okay, so that's it, 10 minutes down. I've just walked the length of there. I guess it was, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a mile, something like that. Taken about 20 photos at varying intervals along that way. I've got the GeoTag app tagging away in my pocket on my phone. I've not had to touch that since I started it at the start of the walk, and all I've got to do now is marry my photos up with that file, and that should tell me exactly where I've taken these 20 photos. So really simple. Let's hope it works. And time to get home for a cup of tea, because even after 15 minutes I can't feel my nose. So let's go home. Okay, so we're back in the office now. My hair has flattened down a bit. I've warmed up. My face isn't as rosy as it was. I have the app. I am going to now show you how to what happens next, basically. So let me just get the recording going on here, and we can look at both screens at the same time. Right. So that is going. So here we have the app. So the app was it was recording. When I finished my walk at the end there, I did stop the app, and it's just coming back into it, and where the green button now says start, it would say stop. So you press stop, and then we would have the trip saved here, and you can see the walk that I took, and the checkpoints or the arrows are indicating the way I walked. The green was the start, and the red obviously the stop. Now along this route I took various photos, which I've already copied from my memory card into the computer. There are lots of different ways you can do this, and I've done a video about that, which I'll link up here or down below, so check out that if you want to see the different ways to import in, but it's pretty straightforward. So we basically got the photos. They're not in Lightroom, they are on my hard drive, because I wanted to do this tutorial to make sure that even if you weren't using Lightroom, you could still geotag your photos. So I'm going to geotag this via the operating system, i.e. Finder or Windows, whatever you're using. I think the process is the same. I'm going to do a second video, as I mentioned before, I think, about how you can do it all in Lightroom. So look out for that. But in the meantime, so we can see we've got the trip history here on the phone. There is an option here that I may not have showed you yesterday, where you can do an automatic trip upload. So that will automatically upload the trip to the GeoTag server, and you don't have to do it manually. If you do disabled, as you can see on the phone here, you will have to then upload it when you're ready. Mine was ticked as Wi-Fi and cellular, so it's automatically uploaded. And we will now be able to see that this trip has now gone into the GeoTag server, or wherever they keep it, and we can now go into the computer and we can marry that up with the pictures that I've taken, and you'll see now why the time thing was so important. So let's stop recording, let's stop on the phone here, and we'll go into the computer. Okay, so here we have the photos that I've taken. As I said, none of these are going to be award winners. They are really pretty much just snapshots of various things I saw on that walk. But it's given us how many photos? It's given us 23 photos. So we are going to open the GeoTag Photos app that you can download, and this is the kind of screen you'll be presented with. So all you have to do next is to choose a directory to where you have saved your photos, which is here, and click on open. Now that will find the 23 files. There are the 23 pictures, and these have got today's date and obviously today the time they were taken. We then, down the left hand corner here, we click start geotagging, and that is going to search through all the files that you've got. And I've done this for like several hundred photos before. It might take some time, but it's pretty robust in what it does. 23 photos successfully geotagged. Now the key thing is it accurate? So let's have a look. I don't know if we can do it from here, so we are going to go back to, I don't know why Photoshop is opening, because I think I just double clicked on it. So we are going to go back to here, and let's take one of the, I took a few of just a road so that it would be obvious where I was and not just in a field. So here's one of the road. We are going to right mouse click and click on get info, and we can see here that we've got coordinates gone in. You can see over on this side, longitude and latitude. But now the important thing is it accurate? So to do that, I don't think you can see it in this panel here. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. So I am going to just bring them into Lightroom, and we are going to look at them on the map. So give me a second while I get these into Lightroom. Okay, so here we are in Lightroom now. There are a few ways you can get your photos into Lightroom. Don't forget, you can do this in you can do this in Apple's or whatever app you look at your photos in. The point is that we've geotagged the photo, so that information is now embedded in the photograph, and we're going to prove that now, hopefully. Okay, so I'm going to do it quite easily. I'm just going to click on my 2021. I'm going to right mouse click, synchronize folder, 23 photos to come in. It will just add the folder over here on the left and bring those photos in. So let's find one of the ones that was by the road. In fact, this one is even closer to the road, so let's use one without a car in, this one. So if we come over to the right hand side here and on metadata, you can see it's brought in the GPS information. We are going to click on this little arrow to the side of it, which will take us through to the map module, and we are going to zoom in, and we can see that there's been various photos taken down the side of the road here. And if we click on that there, that's going to highlight down here the two photos that were taken at the side of the road. So let's find another one. Let's zoom out a little bit. We took a couple here looking up and down this path, I think. So if we click on there, you can see the photos here. One is looking, so the first one is looking this way back into the woods, and this one on the right here, number 20, is looking that way out to the gate. So that is it. And you can imagine, as I showed before, how great that will be if you do this for an entire trip and you can look back and you've got a picture in front of you of the route you've taken. You can't remember where did I take this photo again, and you just double click on it and it will show you exactly, almost to the point. I took one under a pylon. Where's the one here? This one here, look, is under a pylon. If we can change this to satellite, it's under the pylon, look. I'm shooting that way. This one here is just to the left of the pylon. You can see the wires down here above me, and here we are just to the left of the pylon. I mean, it's pretty accurate. You can't, I can't really complain about how this could be the one I took through this. You can see here that can I zoom in anymore? I can't zoom in anymore. There, oh no, which one is it I'm shooting through the bush? That one. So there may be a bush there may not be. But, these are like 10 foot apart. So I'm not going to argue over 10 foot if they are out. The point is This is just as I came through the gate here, waiting to cross the road on this little path here. I mean, I think the point is that it's a great way to geotag your photos. I waffled on a bit there. However, I do have to admit to one thing that I may have got wrong at the start of this video, and that was that the app I'm using now, it only gives you 3 free trips. There is another app which I mentioned, which is the first one, which is principally the same. It just looks a little bit more dated, but I used that in 2019. I must admit I have since paid for this because it's just cleaner and fresher, and I think it's about £10, which is quite a lot. But if you're serious about this, if you really want to get your photos accurately geotagged, then this is a great way of doing it. So stay tuned, because I am going to do a second one of how you can automatically bring them into Lightroom, and then you do a geotag actually in Lightroom. So when you first see them in Lightroom, there's no coordinates on there, but then when you've done what I'm going to show you, there will be coordinates on there. So I may undo or take the geotag locations off of this and do it with this trip, or I might use an old trip that I can dig out from Bath or another holiday or something. But because I know this is so accurate, and I know that my time was synced to the second, then it's going to be, I will probably use this trip. So there we go. I don't think I can think of anything else to tell you. I think that I've covered most things. I hope that was useful. If it was, please give me a thumbs up and let me know down below, and of course subscribe to the channel if you want to see more things like this. If there's anything you'd like to know, I get a few questions every now and again, not many, because there's not many people watching my videos at the moment, but I have the odd question that I've helped people out on. So any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm still learning as I'm going. It's great for you to watch my videos. I'm so grateful, and I think that's it for this video. So see you in the next one.